The Harkness warrior kills without a thought, without mercy. But I see here a whole army of my fellow Exonians here in defiance of tyranny. Will you fight? Take a stand and you may falter. Sit silently and you will live for a while. But we're here to tell those warriors that they may take our lines, they may take our time, but they will never take our freedom. Preps of Exeter, I am Lucas Schroeder. Congratulations, you have passed the first crucial step in your time here at Exeter. Soon, you will venture out into the Exeter experience without your hefty shield of pass-fail. Fall term may or may not have been smooth sailing, I don't know. But I'm here to tell you about my experiences as a four-year senior. I distinctly remember building barriers between me and my class with anything that I could get my hands on. English books, backpacks, even neighbors. Hey, if the teacher doesn't see me, they won't know that I'm not talking, right? The quiet kid is an especially tricky role to play in classes. That's because the Harkness warrior is aggressive, always waiting to slay. As one who survived with a battle scar or two, I was asked to give you strategies on how to make the most out of your time here as an Exonian. Rule number 1, never take a stance or make claims around the table. Try to be lukewarm. That way, the Harkness warrior won't have anything to fight against. And if by mistake you stake your ground and you realize you're wrong, just play it off like nothing happened. Rule number 2. This is important. Spark Notes is the answer. Because really, you can't trust yourself. You're ninth graders, and what could you ever possibly say that's new? Rule number 3, never ever leave your room. Making friends and going to clubs is totally optional here at Exeter and can distract you from your purpose. You must prepare for the Harkness warrior. Rule number 4, guys, and this is going to change your lives. If you want a good grade, write about something tragic. Okay, so obviously everything I just told you is completely wrong, and I hope you realize that. Please don't take my rules as the truth. But unfortunately, those were the rules that I told myself for the first couple of weeks at Exeter. Luckily, I quickly realized that if you let your fear of the Harkness warrior or of being incorrect rule your time here at Exeter, you will never find your voice. I was that kid, trying to sink into the wooden chair around the table. Telling stories used to be a lot harder for me. I didn't talk until I was 4, and still I struggled to let the words flow freely from my mouth. I'd sit at the table, waiting for the perfect sentence to form in my head, and then wait for the perfect place to interject. But most times, the conversation flowed so swiftly that I never found a chance to jump in. One day I found a way to grab hold of those thoughts in my mind, to patiently pan the fast-flowing stream of my mind, capturing words like precious rubies before the current swept them away. I found it easier to think like a filmmaker, to not worry about shooting the perfect scene on the first try. You all must think like video cameras. Become a keen observer, and often you'll notice things that others miss. Focus on the small details that form the bigger picture. Find your way over that treacherous chasm of fear of writing or saying something simply awful. When there's a pit in your stomach before you share your ideas in class, try focusing on quality over quantity. A 30-second ad can be way more memorable than a 2-hour infomercial. It didn't take me long to realize that there was absolutely no connection between talking the most and having the best ideas. Soon, I began to sit forward and find a time to insert my own ideas while the warriors paused for a momentary breath. Speak with courage of your convictions, because what you say really does matter. I began to realize this midway through prep year when I found the courage to use a sense of humor. Instead of censoring myself and writing the way I imagined I should write, I simply wrote, and the comments I received from peer responders and instructors helped me see that I too have important things to say. Trust your gut more often. Often I'd hear people say that the only way to get a good grade on a paper is to write about something sad. But I was tired of that, and during prep spring, while I listened to my classmates reading their deep stories, I decided it was time to spice things up. I ended up writing about the time I was locked out of my house as a kid and running around the yard completely naked. I made a movie about it for my English class, but don't worry, it was a rated G film. So, honor your style and don't be afraid to share your ideas just because they're different. Your time at PEA is not about separating into Harkness Warrior and Harkness Orchid, but experimenting with different forms of communication, different roles that